Shin Megami Tensei is one of the best JRPG franchises I've ever played in my life, and I'm so happy to be a fan of it. It's engrossed me for so many years. I I just felt the need to make a video about it because I want to share my love for this franchise that I hold very close to my heart. Due to the sheer amount of games and lore within the SMT franchise, from the outside looking in, this might look overwhelming to you. And it kind of is. Since there's so much going on here, I think I'd better start with a little bit of a history lesson on how the SMT franchise came to be. It starts here. The very first baby steps taken by the Megami Tensei franchise, Digital Devil Story Megami Tensei. Based on the book Digital Devil Story Goddess Reincarnation, which released a year prior, Megami Tensei was released September 11th, 1987 for PC. It's about a high school prodigy named Akemi Nakajima, who invents the now infamous demon summoning program, which is the program that's used for most of the mainline Shin Megami Tensei series. Now, I'm not going to get too into this, but I will say that it did well enough to get its own anime OVA. Was it good? Well, it was weird. It involved Loki having sex with a woman while inside of a computer program. Yeah, pretty weird. Anyway, moving on. Now let's get to talking about SMT1. It starts out pretty simply. You play as nameless protagonist. A nuclear war broke out, destroying most of civilization as we know it. Demons are invading, your life is fading, and all your friends are dead. Yeah, par for the course. The nuclear attacks on Tokyo was actually caused by the demon Thor, who disguised himself as an American ambassador called Ambassador Thorman. To make a long story short, it's up to the protagonist to choose how he will try to save the world. Either join with the Messiah Order, who wish to resurrect God, or the Ring of Gaia, who wish to bring about Lucifer. Or, pick the neutral path, which is the canon ending, and destroy both of them. Doing so will reveal the main villain of the entire SMT franchise, Yahweh. Which, yes, is literally just a giant golden head. Completing the neutral path eventually leads into SMT2. I know this because it says so on the timeline. SMT2 is the most pivotal game in not just mainline SMT, but the entire Megami Tensei franchise as a whole. Why is this? Because depending on the ending you get in SMT2, SMT2 is basically what causes everything else in the Megami Tensei franchise, such as Raido Kuzunoha going back in time to stop the nuclear war from destroying the planet, which then leads into the Devil Summoner games. And the SMT fanbase is 99.9% sure that Hajiri from Nocturne is Alf reincarnated. And if that's true, that leads to a direct connection between SMT2 and SMT Nocturne. Oh, and by the way, SMT Nocturne is where Dante from Devil May Cry is. And also, the true Chaos ending in SMT Nocturne eventually leads into SMT Strange Journey, and the neutral ending in that leads into SMT4, and then SMT4's neutral ending leads into SMT4 Apocalypse. And that's basically it for the mainline SMT games, at least for now. So let's take a look at the other branching path in the Megami Tensei timeline. Of course, I'm talking about where our friend Raido Kuzunoha leaves off after he goes back in time to stop the nuclear war. Now there's something very particular that happens down the timeline Raido Kuzunoha created when he went back in time, and that's the game SMT If. Now what's so peculiar about this game? It was never released in the West, but it is considered the precursor game to the most popular sub-series in all of Megami Tensei. You probably already know what I'm talking about. Well, we were gonna get here sooner or later, but too bad for you. Persona did not start with Persona 3. So I'm gonna talk about the ones no one ever does, 'cause fuck you, my favorite Persona game is Persona 2. Now, Persona 1. Okay, you got me. No one cares or talks about Persona 1, but plenty of people care about Persona 2, and I'm one of them. So here we go. Gameplay-wise, while Persona 2 is quite dated, story-wise, I believe it is the best Persona game overall. My favorite SMT game is Nocturne, but hey. For those who don't know, Persona 2 is a bit of an interesting case because it's not just a singular game, it's actually a duology. It starts with Persona 2 Innocent Sin and ends with Persona 2 Eternal Punishment. Persona 2 has a very interesting premise in which rumors that are spread around the city end up becoming real. And while the guys in mainline SMT are fighting Yahweh, in Persona 1 and Persona 2 they're fighting an H.P. Lovecraft villain known as Nyarlathotep. Also, Hitler's in there somewhere. Even though the threat of Nyarlathotep was quelled in Persona 2 Eternal Punishment with the help of Philemon, who by the way is Igor's boss, he's still around, and so is Philemon. In Personas 3, 4, and 5, you may notice a blue butterfly. Well, that's to show that Philemon is currently watching what's occurring. You may also notice that yellow eyes are a reoccurring theme in Persona. Well, that's to show that Nyarlathotep is indirectly involved with what's currently going on. I noticed a major complaint about Persona 1 and 2 is that the beginning portion of the games are really fast. They don't take the time to explain what the demons are and such. Well, you know, that does make sense, because Persona 1 and 2 are still within the original Devil Summoner universe, meaning that they already know what demons are in this world, and they already know how to combat them. However, events occur in Persona 2 that cause you to switch over to an entirely different universe, thus causing the general populace to completely forget that demons are a real thing that exist in this world, and they go back to being myths and legends. Now for Personas 3, 4, and 5. Don't pretend you don't already fucking know. Don't pretend you already don't know that Mitsuru, Naoto, and Futaba are best girls. Shut the fuck up, you have shit taste. Alright? I actually already really like Lisa Silverman from Persona 2, but there is not very much fan art of her. So I'm shit out of luck there. Fuck.